The banks just closed. Not for the weekend, forever. You have 72 hours before total chaos. Most people waste it panicking. You won't. Here's your survival timeline, hour by hour, because hesitation kills and preparation saves lives. Picture this. Monday morning, you wake up, check your banking app. Error message. You refresh. Still nothing. You call the bank. Busy signal. You drive there. Doors locked. Sign in the window says temporary closure. Except it's not temporary. It never is. This isn't hypothetical. This isn't some doomsday fantasy. This is history. Greece, 2015. Banks closed for 3 weeks. Daily withdrawal limit, 60 euros. That's it. Your life savings locked behind a number on a screen you can't access. Cyprus, 2013. Banks didn't just close. They froze accounts. Then they took 47.5% of any deposit over 100,000 euros. Gone. Confiscated. Legal theft. Lebanon, 2019. Banks limited withdrawals to $200 per week. Not per day, per week. Your mortgage, your rent, your food, all trapped while the currency collapsed around you. And here's what nobody tells you about bank closures. It's not the banks that kill you. It's what happens after. The first 72 hours decide everything, because that's when the cash runs out, when the grocery store is empty, when your neighbors realize their money is worthless and yours might still work, when desperation turns normal people into threats. So let's break down exactly what you do, hour by hour, action by action, because in a collapse, speed beats strength, preparation beats panic, and 72 hours of smart decisions beats a lifetime of regret. Hour 0, the second you hear banks are closed. Not tomorrow, not after you finish your coffee. Now. First move, cash. Get every single dollar out of your house. Under the mattress, in jars, that birthday card envelope in the drawer, the emergency fund in the sock drawer. Pool it, count it. This is your oxygen for the next 72 hours. In Argentina's 2001 collapse, people who had cash survived. People who trusted their bank accounts starved while looking at numbers on a screen. Second move, fuel. Gas stations still take cash. For now, fill every vehicle you own. Fill gas cans. Fill your friend's car if they'll let you. Because by tomorrow morning, gas stations either run out completely or go cash only with a 300% markup. And you'll pay it, because a car without gas is a 3,000-pound paperweight. Third move, groceries. And I'm not talking about toilet paper. I'm not talking about pasta and sauce for a nice dinner. I'm talking calories per dollar. Rice, 20-pound bags. Beans, dried and canned. Cooking oil, salt, flour. You're not meal planning. You're buying survival math. In Argentina's 2001 collapse, grocery prices doubled in 48 hours. By day 3, shelves were empty. By day 5, people were fighting over expired cans. Fourth move, water. Buy it now. Cases, gallons, whatever they have. Because here's what happens when the power grid fails. Water treatment plants fail. You have maybe 2 days of water pressure left. Maybe. After that, it's wells, rivers, puddles, or nothing. And boiling puddle water gets old fast. Fifth move, medicine. Prescription refills, everything you can get. Over-the-counter antibiotics if you can find them. Pain relievers, antiseptics, bandages, gauze. When the banks close, supply chains break. When supply chains break, pharmacies run dry. And that insulin you need, that blood pressure medication, gone. Hope you stocked up. Do all of this in the first 12 hours. By hour 12, everyone else figures it out. The news spreads, the panic starts. By hour 18, the stores are war zones, fights in the aisles, cops trying to maintain order. By hour 24, the shelves are empty and the doors are locked. Hour 24, day 2. The cash economy kicks in. But it's not normal. It's not civilized. It's chaos with a price tag. Now you're bartering, because by day 2, people realize cash might not save them. They need goods. You need goods. Let's trade. But here's the thing. You need the right goods, the stuff people actually want. Stock up on Tade goods now while stores still have them. Cigarettes, even if you don't smoke, especially if you don't smoke, because the guy who does will give you his last chicken for a pack. Alcohol, even if you don't drink. A bottle of whiskey in Venezuela's collapse was worth a month's rent. A carton of cigarettes bought a week of food for a family. Coffee, chocolate, batteries, lighters, soap. These become the new currency when paper money fails. Secure your home. Locks, boards, whatever you have. Reinforce doors. Cover windows. Because desperation rises fast. In Greece, during the bank closures, burglaries increased 40% in the first month. These weren't career criminals. They were parents trying to feed their kids. Desperate people do desperate things. Doesn't matter why. Lock your doors. Find your network right now. The mechanic who can fix your generator when the power dies. The neighbor with chickens who needs help with security. The guy who knows how to purify water without fancy filters. The woman who's a nurse and can treat injuries. You can't survive alone. Nobody does. Every survival story from every collapse is about groups, about communities. Build your tribe now, because by hour 48, trust evaporates and everyone's a potential threat. Communication backup. Phones might still work, for now, but get everyone's contact info written down, physical addresses, meeting points, backup plans. Because when the cell towers lose power, and they will, your smartphone is an expensive brick. Plan B isn't optional, it's survival. Hour 48, day 3, the real panic starts. Cash is running out everywhere. Credit cards are plastic rectangles. Digital payments are ghost stories your grandpa tells. ATMs are either empty or smashed. Now it's about skills. What can you do that people actually need? Fix engines, patch roofs, purify water, start fires without matches, treat wounds, grow food. Skills can't be stolen, can't be frozen in a bank account, can't lose value when currency collapses. In the 1998 Russian financial crisis, engineers traded car repairs for food. Teachers traded tutoring for medicine. Doctors traded basic healthcare for shelter. Accountants? Useless. Because math doesn't fill stomachs when the system collapses. Numbers on spreadsheets don't keep you warm at night. Learn basic medical care right now. How to clean a wound properly. How to recognize infection before it kills. How to set a broken bone. How to stitch a deep cut. You won't have a doctor. You are the doctor. Or your neighbor is. Or nobody is, and people die from treatable injuries. That's the choice. That's reality.
Start a garden right now, today. Even if it's just tomatoes in a pot on your balcony. Even if it's just herbs in your kitchen window. Because food security takes months to build. Months. But if you don't start in the first 72 hours, you're 6 months behind when you finally realize you should have. And 6 months without food security is 6 months of hunger. Defend what's yours, but not with weapons, not with violence. With community, group security, shared watch shifts, mutual protection agreements. Because here's the math. A lone prepper with a stockpile becomes a target. Everyone knows you have food. Everyone knows you're alone. You're easy. But a group of 5 neighbors looking out for each other, that survives. That thrives. Strength in numbers isn't just a saying. It's survival statistics. Hour 72. The banks are still closed. The cash is gone. The stores are empty. Government says they're working on it. They're lying. Now what? Now you live in the informal economy. Direct trade, labor for food, skills for shelter, your wheat for their nails, your medical knowledge for their eggs. Simple, brutal, effective. This is how humans survived for thousands of years before banks existed. You're just going back to basics. The government might step in eventually. Ration cards, emergency currency, martial law, curfews. Or they might not. In Lebanon, the banks stayed closed for months, plural. No bailout, no rescue, no miracle save. Just people adopting or starving. And a lot of people starved. Here's the psychology nobody talks about. The thing that kills more people than hunger. Most people wait for normal to return. They ration their cash, thinking banks reopen next week. They don't buy food, thinking stores restock tomorrow. They don't prepare, thinking someone will fix this. The government, the banks, someone, anyone. They're wrong. And by the time they realize it, you're 3 days ahead. You have food, water, fuel, skills, network, community. They have hope. And hope, my friend, hope doesn't fill your stomach. Hope doesn't purify water. Hope doesn't keep you warm when the power's been out for a week. When banks close forever, the first 72 hours separate survivors from victims. It's not about luck. It's not about having money before the collapse. It's about speed, action, clear decisions made when everyone else is frozen in denial and panic. You get cash, you get fuel, you get food, you build your network, you develop your skills. You prepare while others pray. And when they ask how you made it, you don't explain the sleepless nights. You don't detail the planning, the paranoia that saved you. You just say you were ready, because you were, and they weren't. The banks close, the money stops, the world changes, but you keep going.